Welcome to the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast for all decision makers and action takers. Take it away, Esther.
And welcome back to another episode of the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. Today we're talking about customer retention strategies. Lots of big words, but we all know that it's easier to keep a customer than find a new one. So, how are we going to keep them? That is the question for today's episode. It's over to you, Melanie. I don't know why you let me do the intros whenever you know this is going to come.
Customer retention is impacted by whether it's B2B sales or B2C sales, so business to business or business to consumer. And that's largely down to how the processes are in both aspects. Obviously, business to consumer obviously has less because you are literally direct to your consumer. But when you're business to business, then you have to take into account that, the people you're selling to have their own customers to take into account. So now you're looking at all the strategies and the practices that are in place for both dynamics.
Okay, so what we're saying is it depends. But both have a way to retain customers. So even if you are a B2C and you're selling to a customer directly, there are ways for you to bring those customers back. And I can remember from one of the last times we talked about this many, many years ago, we said that there was one that you would not want to have as a returning customer, and that would be like a funeral director. So, unless you're dealing with the rest of the family, okay. So there's certain businesses that could only maybe sell their product or service once to a person. But the majority, like 99% of businesses, could sell repeat things to the audience. Okay.
Do you think that's why they've made the life? Do you think that's why they've changed the lifetime of white goods? Because they used to last forever.
Probably, yeah. Now you're lucky if you get 5 years out of a washing machine or a dryer. Yeah. So what we're saying here is you've got a few different options of things that you need to look at when you are thinking about retaining your customers or keeping your customers. So one of them, the very first time that you get your customer, would be the onboarding process. Okay, so what is it that you get from them? Is it a very easy, streamlined focus, or is it very bitty? Are you constantly going back and forward, especially if it's a B2B customer where, for example, Melanie's going to do training and she asks them one question, then 2 days later she asks them another question. Melanie does not do that. I'm just giving an example of what not to do. Okay, Melanie does not do that. What you're talking about, though, is that Melanie would have a form that when someone contacts her for training, she will go through the form and get all the relevant information so that she can streamline and tailor the training to that customer base, okay, or to that group. The same when you come to us for a website. If we just go, what's the name of your business? Do you have a previous website? If we don't send you all the information that we need to get the website started and get a good grip on it, then it's going to be a very painful and long, drawn-out process, okay? So having the onboarding process be streamlined, and it should be something that also develops and modifies over time. So if you see, like we would see, that now a lot of things is about accessibility on websites. So we need to ask for the meta tags for the images, or if we're making the images or finding the images, then we need to come up with the meta tags for the images and the alt tags, so that people with visual impairment know what the image is of without having to guess. Okay, so a lot of things change and adapt as we go, but having an onboarding process, whether that be in person, on the telephone, via email, with a questionnaire, whatever it is, that is fundamental. What do you think?
I agree. Do you like the way I just had 2 words for all of that?
What would you add? What's next?
Well, next would be, I think, customer churn rate. And, that's basically who comes along, buys your product or your service, and then comes back again to maybe purchase it again, or maybe they've come back with further suggestions, maybe things you can add, and their feedback has assisted. So it's basically people understanding what you're offering and purchasing it from the point of sale.
Yeah, and things you can look out for there is if they purchase your product and stop using it. So say you have an app or a community, an online community, and you notice that people are not logging in as much anymore. They're stopping using the product. If there's fewer uptake in the app or the community, if there's slower response times, if there's been missed milestones, all of these things are red flags that you can look out for and do something about before they decide to drop off and jump out.
What's next?
I will go with personalization. Okay, so
Okay.
personalization at scale. All right, customers expected to be treated like individuals and not like the mass. Okay, so when you first send out your messages and your marketing messages, you are talking to a mass audience, but you should be as personalized as possible. Don't necessarily name the person in your posts, but that personalization should continue on, and it shouldn't be a one size fits all for your product. I mean, even Coca-Cola has done this. They are a massive company. They have personalized, literally, we talked about it last year. They personalize bottles and cans so that people can feel more connected to the brand. And that's a multi-million dollar, probably billion-dollar company, international and everything. So why can't you do that from your small corner of the world? Okay, it doesn't mean handwritten notes for everyone. It doesn't mean like phoning them every week, but it means using their data intentionally and checking in with them based on how their ad is doing, for example, or when you can see that there's been less traffic on their website, how to reach out and go, right, think we're going to need more blogs here. You need to do this, you need to do that. It's not just well, this worked for this other customer that I had, so it's bound to work for you. Okay. So personalization.
I think along the same lines is following up on the insights that you get. So looking at data, basically analytics and data. And our friend Amanda Webb would throw her oar in here, because it really does help instruct what you should be doing next. And it's also part of the onboarding form, in my opinion, because if you understand where people come from, you know where their ultimate aim is meant to be. So you're actually building from the very beginning, using this data, using the personalization you mentioned. You're creating a customer journey as well. And the only way you can fundamentally understand the customer journey is by having a good understanding of the data that is thrown up along the way. How are they using your products? How are they hearing of you? Where are they sharing it? Where are they hearing about it in the first place? What's the reviews and testimonials bringing up? What kind of feedback are you getting when you're meeting people in person at trade stands or shows? All this data is enormously valuable and also should be recorded somewhere so that you benefit from it.
Yes. And
see, you said I agree in your own way.
I didn't, not in the exact words, but I do. I do agree, because if you get to the point where you can't continue to be a customer success manager or your relationship manager with your customers, then you need to start thinking about either outsourcing or hiring in to keep the relationship strong with you and your customers. Okay, so just because you're a one-man band does not mean that you can not give them their success metrics and show them their data and give them guides towards their outcomes, etc. Because retention improves when success is measured by customer results, not just ticket value. So not just the amount of money that's coming in, but if you think about it this way, you've got 5 clients that are paying regularly and they're very satisfied, and you lose one of them, how many will you need to bring in to fill that gap financially? How long will that take? How much money and effort will it take to bring that person in? So what can you do to keep them is more and more necessary. So you should build loyalty, not just satisfaction, because satisfied customers are neutral, but loyal customers are powerful. And when you have a powerful, loyal customer, they will start doing the outreach for you. They'll start telling other people about how great their social media trainer is, how great their website designer is, how great the community is that they're in, how great the candles are that they're buying. You knew I would get that in there somewhere. Word of mouth is still very, very important. And it's not just asking them for a review, because some people wait until the end of the relationship to ask for a review. Some people do it at the very start. There is no real perfect timing to do it. Probably at the end would not be great because, they're leaving for a reason, whether that be their financial reasons, they're changing course, etc. But try to get in there to get a review after maybe 6, 9, 12 months of working with you. If they've been your customer for 5 years and they keep coming back, brilliant. Ask for another review, because there is a reason why they're still there.
And one last point is, if you are going to the trouble of getting reviews and testimonials, that also means you're opening yourself up to feedback of all kinds.
Yes.
And it is critical that you manage expectations. So my suggestion to you is, if you are opening yourself up, and ideally you should be open to resolving these issues quickly as well. And that could be maybe getting them into a small focus group, maybe doing a one-to-one thing, maybe a discount code, or maybe working, offering extra services along the side. Whatever it is, there is an expectation. And I've said this at every single training session I've ever done, and I think I'm going to start doing it in every speaking event I ever do. Once you set yourself up for a business, you're setting yourself up and other people's expectations. And as long as you manage those, anything is manageable.
Very true. Very true. So, in summary, customer retention is not a tactic, it is a system. Yes. It connects onboarding, engagement, data, personalization, trust. So if you want higher retention, start earlier, pay attention sooner, and show customers they matter consistently. Okay? So it's not just about saving accounts at the last minute. It's about never letting them want to leave in the first place. They should want to stay with you. And Melanie and I both have clients that have been with us for years and years and years, which is a testament to what we do and how we carry out our work. But it's also about how they appreciate the work that we do.
Well, that's all the time we have for now. Let us know what your processes are, and make sure to listen back to this with a pen and paper and see if you are doing something along the similar lines. Have a great week. Bye for now.